Welcome back to Fourth and Troll Fantasy.
All right, it's on to week 9, people. Get your shit together, okay? We got to talk about week 8. Some performances. We got to figure out if they're fluke or for real. Here on Fourth and Troll Fantasy, the most entertaining fantasy show on the planet. I'm Noah Selby.
I'm Wes Selby.
And we're doing what I just told you. Why are you still wondering? Okay? All right. I don't know why I'm...
You're bullying our audience.
Our viewers. Yeah, I don't know.
They need to get it together.
I guess so. Did you lose? Figure it out. All right. We got a handful of performances from week 8 to talk about. We're going to break them down, decide, is this for real? Is this a sign of things to come? Or is this a fluke? Flash in the pan. Get it over with. Be done. Let's jump straight into it. Before we do, like, subscribe, ring the bell, join the Discord. Always having a blast here at Fourth and Troll. And let's start out with some quarterbacks, Wes. Some solid performances here from a couple guys. Tua Tagovailoa, okay? What was that? What just happened? Like, what genuinely?
Yeah.
That game was drunk. Very. Extremely. Because, I mean...
So... The most frustrating thing for me is that Bijan should have set the single game rushing record by halftime. And he walked out with, I think, less than 5 points. So it was
he had like 20 something yards. Yeah, this, you know what?
And the Falcons defense,
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, Falcons have a great pass defense, great pass, like the best pass rush in the NFL.
Nah.
I thought, surely this is going to be the final straw. And then Tua does this. Here's the thing.
4 touchdowns.
This isn't a fluke, but why would you ever willingly start Tua? Like, of course this can happen. We know this can happen. We've seen this in his career. We've seen games like this earlier. We talked about this in the waiver wire segment, but like, how could I ever start Tua? I mean, in what world would I ever say, yeah, this is good enough for me to now start Tua to help me get over 500 or to lock in a playoff spot? Like, absolutely not.
Yeah, don't do it. Okay, CJ Stroud. Been solid over the last handful of weeks. Has a really nice game. Who knew all you need to do was get rid of Nico Collins. And
that ball and chain.
That's when CJ Stroud decides he can throw the football and play really well. 25.7 fantasy points. Maybe for real? I don't really know.
Well, it's actually very similar to Tua. However, the floor is so much safer. So again, we talked about Stroud on the waiver wire. I want to pull up how Stroud has done so far this season, because it's been, and we're talking about 6-point passing so far. It's been really reliable. The week before, 15 points, not that great. But in the week 5, 36 points, and then 22 points. So he's been able to put up some decent numbers.
Yeah, over the past month, he's been pretty good.
35 times a game.
He's a fine streaming quarterback.
Yes.
I mean, and that's kind of where you can, like, you got a bye week filler. Go for it. Take a shot. But I'm not like turning the keys of the city over to him. But he can throw. We saw it in his rookie year. So okay, let's talk about some terrible performances from some really fucking good quarterbacks, dude.
Yes.
Dak
Very
Prescott,
disappointing.
6.6 fantasy points. I mean, I'll loop both of these guys together because it's similar space. I'm safely saying both of these guys, these performances are flukes. Because Baker Mayfield, 4 fantasy points. Like this, in a game they won, like really easily. It was just like, both this sucks, and you start these guys with confidence, and these kind of performances happen, and you're real bummed, and they make you lose a week or whatever. I'm not worried necessarily. Baker gets the bye. Egbuka can get healthier. Godwin maybe can come back. Dear Lord, please let Bucky Irving come back so they can do better than 1 for 8 on the 1 yard line. But I mean, yeah, this stinks. But I mean, I'm not necessarily worried. It just is one of those situations that kind of sucks. So Sorry if you had him. You and I love Dak. We have Dak in a lot of places, and it was a bummer this week for sure. Let's jump into the running backs, Wes, because some good fellas here. Isaiah Davis. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, if Breece Hall gets traded, maybe here's a guy who can do who can be fine, who can be like 65, 70 cents on the dollar to what Breece Hall is in this poopy Jets offense. But I mean, he's shown flashes before, but I'm not running to the bank or anything.
I think there is a chance. We'll talk in terms of if Breece Hall is traded, right? Okay, we're recording this on Monday, so I mean, there's still some time, but he may have been traded by the time you're watching this, but we don't know right now, and we're talking about this. If Isaiah Davis is the starter, let's take a couple minutes to talk about him for a second. It's good to have a starting running back this late in the season to just end up with a starting running back because he could be on the waiver wire. You may already have him, like I do in a lot of leagues, because I've got Breece Hall. So I wanted to have the insurance and a potential 2-for-1 where I got a starter now. Davis, like you said, is going to be, cents to the dollar of what Breece Hall is, and that's fine. I might trade Isaiah Davis to someone that's running back needy. If a trade happens, I might trade Davis before the trade happens in case there isn't a trade. But this, I think, is a fluke if Hall stays. I think this was just Bengals defense sucks, and it just all went the right way for the Jets offense. And so I don't think this is going to happen again unless Breece Hall is traded.
I agree. Let's talk about RJ Harvey. 24.1 fantasy points. Dude, if you watched Studs and Duds, I was high on Dobbins because I figured there's probably a handful of touchdowns for this Broncos team to go around. And Dobbins ran great, had over 100 rushing yards, and RJ Harvey just and took all three of the touchdown opportunities there. So 24.1, they drafted Harvey high, obviously. I was starting Harvey in a couple leagues due to believing that this is a possibility. Glad that it happened. I think I'm gonna say Fluke right now because the snap percentage was still just at like 25% of the snaps. However, this is the kind of game that can get you more work. We're at the halfway point of the season. There could be more opportunity to come around. There should be more opportunity to come around for RJ Harvey. So I don't think it's like he has taken over the backfield. I don't think that's the case. And unless there's an injury, I don't think there will be more than a 50-50 split in situational, situations. But RJ Harvey's very good, and this is in his wheelhouse to be able to do.
Yeah, I am leaning into the for real because, like you said, this is the game that opens the door for a breakout. Like this kind of game, like I know it's only 7 rushes and the low snap percentage, but like this is who the Broncos thought he can be. And I like what he's going to do. I like you said, I still think Dobbins is the workhorse. I still think he is the power back. But when we were talking about our top 10 running backs, I was describing RJ Harvey as one of those players that Dobbins can be the starting running back and Harvey can be the PPR guy. And if they can figure out that Thunder Lightning or power back receiving duo for Denver, Harvey and Dobbins can both have great weeks every week. And so I'm willing to say this is for real. Let us know in our Discord who you're debating starting Harvey over, because there are some running backs that I would say, yeah, go for it. Start RJ Harvey instead for their next game. So we'll see what Sean Payton says this week too of this kind of game. There might be some coach speak comments that lead us to make decisions more easily.
Yeah, definitely. I think I think this is going to be interesting to monitor because he had like a really strong week back in week 4. That was against a very easy to carve up kind of Bengals defense, and now you get the Dallas matchup. So I hope this projects him into more of an even snap share. But I fear Sean Payton might continue to make me dislike him. So, okay. Tyjae Spears, 17.2 fantasy points. We talked about it on the waiver wire. This is a fluke. I mean, it's just that he could be the top running back in Tennessee, but what's that worth? To be honest, is just kind of where I'm at. So I'm not chasing this if I had him rostered, or I'm not expecting this going forward.
I agree.
Yeah.
This is a nice run.
Yeah. Let's talk about some rough running back performances. Rico Dowdle, 5.4 fantasy points. Hey, Dave Canales, catch. It's these hands. Catch these hands, dude. You suck. Let Rico be the workhorse. You had 2 weeks where he pretty much single-handedly won you the game. You had last week where you won and he needed to be more involved, and he had 17 carries, and he was a guy that was getting the work and the opportunity, and you just got waxed. And I get that it was Andy Dalton, and I get that it was against the Bills, but the Bills you could run pretty well against. Henceforth, why he had 54 yards on 8 carries. Dude, you gotta stop. I know you just paid Chuba, but Rico has to be, until Rico is the 1A, not even the 1A, until Rico is the 1 and Chuba is the 2. I struggle to want to play Rico because I know I need a touchdown for it to be a good flex play. So this sucks.
Yeah. Canales just said that he felt, almost to summarize or paraphrase it, he said he basically felt obligated to give Chuba a chance to re-earn the starting role because he otherwise would have lost it because of this calf injury, and Rico has just been disjointed. So it's like, well, we got to make sure Chuba can have a fair shot at getting the role back. And it's like that may not be best for the team. I mean, look at how Rico has done, like you said, those last 3 games and what the results were. And like you said, I get also a different quarterback, but I'm holding on to the hope that Dowdle can take over that backfield. And I want to say this is a fluke. I want to say that Dowdle is the guy. I want to believe. Like you though, I'm struggling, but I might trade for him. If I don't have Dowdle, I might try to make a last minute move before the trade deadline in your league and see if I can get Dowdle later on. And if I have him, I'll keep him. He can make that bench nice and warm until his time comes again.
Yeah, I don't mind that idea. Jordan Mason, I think it's probably over. The game script was so poor. Carson Wentz was so poor. Aaron Jones played really poorly. The whole team was really bad. So while Jones is back, I'm not playing Mason unless I feel the absolute need to, and I'm definitely not this week against Detroit. So, probably for real, he's probably relegated back to he's not someone that you're looking at your bench. If someone on your bench should be played over him, it's more like he's on your bench and until opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if in another 3 weeks he's a drop candidate with the need for people to get a win. Something has to change drastically. I know here's the thing. He hasn't been that great. He hasn't been what he was last year when he filled in for McCaffrey. He hasn't been performing that same way. He's filling in for Aaron Jones. So it's just not the same. The offense is not as good as San Francisco's, at least from last year. And Carson Wentz is out for the season. So maybe things change with the different quarterback, or maybe when JJ McCarthy is ready, things might look different. But this is for real until there's a very, very big game.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about wide receivers. Wes, Troy Franklin, brought him up on the waiver wire show. Just about 27 fantasy points for this guy. 6 for 89 and 2 touchdowns on 8 targets. It was Dallas, so keep that in mind. But this guy's for real, and this guy can be a contributor for your team in a flex spot or in a bye week fill in if you need it. If he's out there, go get him, and he should be. He should be out there. So I really like Troy Franklin. He's got the college connection. Took him a year to get settled in, but I think he's playing pretty well in year 2 with his college quarterback. So I think this is for real.
I have no other comments. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
8 targets is no joke.
Yeah. All right. Xavier Hutchinson, 17.9 fantasy points in Nico Collins' absence. 5 for 69 and a touchdown on 6 targets. Do you want to roster any Texans receiver besides Nico Collins, Wes? Or is this like, I fear it's going to be too inconsistent is what my thought is.
It could be too inconsistent, but it depends on my own wide receiver roster to make that decision. Because I know Jalen Noel had a pretty good game as well.
Yeah.
Like if I have 2.5 good wide receivers on my team, I would consider Hutchinson. If
Sure.
there are no, if there aren't any great wide receivers, like I know people that still have. I know people don't have Jacoby Myers rostered in their leagues, and it's like, well, I get that he has not been great and that he is, injured, but like there's a wide receiver I'd much rather have based on the circumstances. But there are players that I think you could do a lot worse that are on the waiver wire than Hutchinson. And if I roster him and I just want to have someone that can get me 15 plus points, it might be that blue moon where it comes around and it's like, oh my gosh, I started Texas wide receiver and they were great. I'm loving it. But it's difficult because of how bad that offensive line has been. It's tough. I mean, yeah, this
it's a lot of words for Fluke.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
yes, this can happen. Do it
But
again.
don't count on it. Yeah. Here's a guy who did it again. It's Chimere Dike, the rookie wide receiver for the Tennessee Titans. 16.4 fantasy points for this guy. 7 for 93 on 8 targets. Okay. This is interesting. 2 weeks in a row. I talked about it on the waiver show. This corresponds with them firing Brian Callahan. I don't mind adding him to a roster because maybe this is how Cam Ward gets cooking up and this is how things go. But I also know that Calvin Ridley is still injured and he will return. So it's hard to trust a second wide receiver for a rookie quarterback. But until Ridley's back, I'm fine if you want to take a shot. But I feel similar to how I do with Hutchinson with DK. So,
Well, I actually feel better with DK than I do with Hutchinson because Nico is way, way better than Calvin Ridley. At least how
absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
this is going. And it's like, I was just looking at Calvin Ridley's stats. Dude, in fantasy, he's only put up more than 10 points once this whole season. It's not good for Ridley. So there's a chance that by week 10, DK is the guy that Cam Ward trusts the most among wide receivers. But yeah, it's another thing where it's like, oh, Chikakonko had a pretty good week, and it's like, okay. And then I think another Titans tight end had a good game in week 8 as well. So it's like the ball's going to spread around, but like, I think DK is the most consistent pass catcher for this team. So I think I'd rather have him. Yeah, I think you explained it better to me in the waiver wire video, which, Choice, if you ever watched it, go to our YouTube video or YouTube channel. Watch it. But I like DK, I think, as safe for real.
Okay. Christian Watson, 12.5 fantasy points, 4 catches for 85 yards on 4 targets. This is the kind of guy Watson's kind of always been, is kind of like the bigger play threat, field stretcher, one might say, for the Packers. I'm very intrigued by this. I think I want to, if he's out there, I'm going to try and add him, and if he's available to my bench, if I have the opportunity to, because this was 4 for 85 on just 40% of snaps. His first game back from an ACL tear. And that's like good production for a guy coming back from injury. I have to say Fluke until I see it more consistently, but I am intrigued. by Watson. I think this is they'll get Jaden Reed back. It's it's going to be tough eventually, but I think this is a fluke, but show me again and I'm interested. I think
I'm in the same position as you. There's really good upside for Watson, but this Packers roster is tough outside of Tucker Kraft and Josh Jacobs.
Yep. All right, Quentin Johnston.
Oh,
Thursday night.
Oh,
Big old
points.
goose. Big old goose egg.
Oh.
I don't know how to say this like the best way possible. This is both like fluke and for real, because this is like the roller coaster you're going to ride with Johnston, because some week someone is going to be left out from these Chargers pass catchers. And you hope it's not the guy you're starting, but it absolutely could be. So if I had Johnston, I have Johnston in a dynasty league. I'm playing him again next week. He's the best chance to score a long touchdown. He's the best chance to get open deep. The cookie crumbles that way sometimes. And this time it was a shit flavored cookie. And that's how that happened.
Well put. And I will watch Rondé Gadsden being on our Fluke for Real segment as a bad week next week, because Keenan Allen had a 27-point game for no reason.
Right.
At least Ladd McConkey looks more and more like the wide receiver one that we all thought he was going to be. So that's
absolutely
good.
We've seen some phases of these guys. Like Ladd started slow, and then the middle weeks there, like 4 and 5 and 6, like Keenan wasn't great. And now we're back here, and now it's huge. And now it's like, what's going to happen in the next 3 weeks? Like that kind of thing. So it's like defenses start to adjust, and then they're like, okay, now this person can be open. Like that's kind of like how this feels. But, it's a fluke and for real, both all at the same time. Okay. Emeka Egbuka, 6.5 fantasy points. Damn, dude. This sucked. But the good news is that it's a fluke, because 9 targets. This dude is going to be awesome and continue to be great. And he's recovering from however severe this hamstring injury was. And that's how I feel there. Is there's no chance for you that this is for real, right?
No. And they're going into a bye week, so there's no need to be concerned. When he's back, he'll be fine.
And with the unfortunate absence now of Mike Evans, the question everyone had in draft season of, well, what happens when Evans and Godwin are both there? What does Egbuka do? We don't have to deal with that. We don't have to,
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the case. And so if you're an Egbuka owner, you keep playing him after the bye week. So there you go. Okay, tight ends. There's no good ones to talk about because we already knew these guys were going to be good. However, somebody missed the invite to National Tight Ends Day because Jake Ferguson,
the tight end one on the season.
Big old goose. One target. Again, we talked about Dak already. We talked about some Broncos. This game was so weird that it was like, what's going on? Because like Pickens and CD were both fine. Javonte scores on the goal line. Dak throws 2 picks. Like it was a unfortunate bad game for a couple Cowboys offensive skill players, but such is life. Keep playing them. Ferguson's awesome. There's a chance this is, now that CD and Pickens are both there, like, is this maybe? But I think Ferguson is still. Dak has always loved targeting the tight end, even when he's had 2 other receivers there. So I'm not freaking out. I'm not worried. Yeah, this is a fluke. So there you go. Week 8 breakdown on some big time performances there. Fluke or for real. Drop in the comments. Let us know any that you're still trying to figure out, and we are happy to get with you and let you know. But yeah, join the Discord. We'll answer there. That's going to do it. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, and we will see you next time. My name is Noah Selby.
Now my Selby.
And this has been 4th and Troll Fantasy.